Hello everybody, I am PsyStarcraft and welcome to another, uh, terrible splits. Oh my god, what are you doing, drones? Oh, I am PsyStarcraft and this is another StarCraft 2 cast. The map is something something, and it is a Zerg versus Terran, or Zerg versus Protoss with vilePsY, myself in the bottom left as the red Zerg, against LiquidZephyr. I'm not sure if he's actually part of Liquid, I kind of don't think so. He probably just has the name Liquid to either be a poser or it's just kind of what he's always had when he played StarCraft 2. But we are in pretty somewhat close positions. Not too bad. It's about average for a Zerg. You know, it's not too bad, not too far away, anything like that. And I just now finished streaming. This was actually the last game of the stream. So if you already have seen this game, I apologize. You know, there's going to be a handful of you that have, but hopefully you get some different analysis from this replay. And of course, you had the pleasure of seeing the stream, so that's kind of like the bonus PSY footage. It's what makes me not to feel too bad about casting games that I had just streamed, but it's actually very interesting. A lot of crazy stuff. It's not orthodox at all, so I hope you guys stick around and check it out. Now, already we're seeing a pylon from LiquidZephyr. This usually represents a forge going down and a fast expansion, you know, depending on positions, depending on what kind of build I do. And right now, he really just wants to deny the expansion. And you might think, why is he sticking around here? Well, he saw this Overlord cross his path, I think. And if he didn't, that's kind of suspicious. But I'm pretty sure he saw the Overlord fly past his drone. And yeah, he is going to know exactly where I'm at. And try to deny my expansion. I'm sending out 2 drones to pick off his probe. And you don't always have to kill the probe. A lot of times they will scoot out of range of the hatchery placement and you can get that down. So always a good thing when you're able to get that hatchery down, and as I was. And my new kind of metagame is to fast expand at 15, build back up to 16, and start my spawning pool. Now the problem with this is it's really slow for your spawning pool. It's a great economy. The timings are very nice with the queens and links and stuff, but the pool is incredibly slow, and already we're seeing a 2 gates outside of his ramp, so his rally is going to be much shorter. And he's saving up chrono. He's got 75 chrono to spend on these 2 gateways. He's going to chrono boost out as many zealots as he can and just assault my expansion down here. And it's going to be extremely effective. What you have to do as a Zerg, if you want to survive something like this, especially in, you know, average length positions, is make sure you do not supply cap yourself. First of all, you can see I'm getting an Overlord, and save up larva and just spam lings. Try to stall the zealots. You do not want to confront these zealots until you get a ling advantage and you get queen support. You absolutely need queen or spine support. You can try to get a spine in your expansion. You can get one in your main and then walk it down to your expansion, but you absolutely need queens. You cannot keep up with his zealot production with just pure lings, even on 2 bases. So you're going to see me try to execute this. This spine, I don't expect it to go down. It's just kind of a decoy. I feel like he might get to beat down on my hatchery for a long time. I'm going to throw it on the spine, a decoy, canceling it, and just pumping out mass ling. 2 queens on the way, 6 lings, and now he is focusing down my my hatchery. And these probes down here are going to help buffer. They're going to soak up some damage, and they also allow the zealots to 2-shot the lings if the probes gets 1-shot on the lings. And you can see I don't want to engage. It would be a terrible idea to engage. I did lose a couple lings there a bit carelessly, but I want to stall for my spines. I want to stall for my queens. Up comes that queen, canceling that spine. The drone getting a bit trapped and almost goes... Oh, no, it looks like he is going to survive. And just check the production. Still just mass zealots, mass ling. Here come his zealots, and at this point, I had to make a decision. I didn't want to engage like this, but he had my lings bunched up. I felt like they were trapped, so I had to go in. The unit count is now 15 lings to 6 zealots, while he only has 4 zealots here. I just had to attack, man, and you can see it's pretty close. Looks like I might come out ahead. He is microing his zealots like a boss. You want to make sure to focus down those weak zealots, but he eliminates every single ling. And here's another mistake. I trapped my queen on the ramp, and yet another mistake. Instead of running my queen down here... Sergio, come on, man. Come on, I'm casting. Instead of running my queen down here where she's safe on the creep, she can kite the zealots, I try to run up to my main, and I end up getting this queen picked off as well. 14 lings on the way because I was able to land and inject with that first queen. The second queen, however, didn't get so lucky. Wasn't able to inject. He's now at 2 zealots, continuing to rally. Now, it's not looking too good for me. I have lost a lot of lings, but you got to remember, when Protoss do this, they're going to be cutting a lot of probes. I am able to surround 1 zealot. It's 16 harvesters. Second zealot getting surrounded. And now it looks like my ling count will prevail. I'm trying to micro my drones back. Notice I am not transferring because they just would not be safe with the transfer. And I'm going to try to catch these drones. But he has 2 more zealots reinforcing. And with this guy's micro, with Zephyr's micro, you got to be really careful about that. Counts now 15 lings to 4 zealots. And this is almost as even as it gets as far as, you know, Ling versus Zealot. And you can tell it is pretty even. I've got a fuse and I've got a lot of Lings left, but they're all low on health, and he could probably turn around and one-shot a couple of them. One Zealot going down, and now he does reinforce with 2 more as well. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. You can see I'm droning up a little bit, getting a couple Lings and getting a Spine. And he doesn't want to be too careless because he knows I have a lot of Lings and more on the way. So he's going to back off, go for a macro, and throw down that forge for some cannons and things like that. I think this is a complete wall-off, so he's a bit worried about that. So the harvester count is now 21 to 18. If I had to say if someone was ahead or not, I'd say I am slightly ahead just because I have more potential. I've got queens up and 2 hatcheries up. He's just now getting his expansion, so I am a little bit ahead right now taking 2 gas, producing 6 drones. And at this point in the game, when you're so low on harvesters, you don't really want to worry about gas too much. You want to worry about getting your mineral saturation up. And so I'm going to be on 2 gas for quite a while this game, and it's probably for the best, too. So he's got 6 Zealots, he's got a cannon on the way. I'm just going to poke in and do a little bit of harassment, no speed or anything. And, you know, at this point, it's kind of like when your opponent fast expands, you have a couple choices. You can go 2 base tech, you can go 2 base pressure, or you can take a quick 3rd base. And in this case, you can see my Roach Warren is on the way. I'm going to be trying some 2 base roaches. You know, I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 cannons. Might be able to bust those down. I know I'll be able to take out the Zealots pretty easy. And so I want to apply some roach pressure. Harvester count now 32 to 22. And I didn't know I was this far ahead, actually. 32 to 23 harvesters. And had I known that, I might have just gone the safe route. Maybe just tech the mutas, or just gone for a quick 3rd base, bust down these rocks. That would have been a great decision, actually. And here comes my Overlord to do a little bit of scouting. Always position those Overlords down here. Usually a good idea. But here comes 7 roaches on the way. Ling's just kind of chilling outside his base. Make sure he's not going to try anything tricky. He's actually chrono boosting a Stalker when he's got to think that he's behind in the economy a little bit, but he might be a bit afraid of roaches. He has scouted my Roach Warren. The Zealot running in, scouting the Roach Warren. That might be the reason for that chrono boost. I don't know how soon he saw that, trying to take down the Queen, but the roaches are going to spot that Zealot, clean it up. And he's still got 6 Zealots if we check out the unit count, and just a single Stalker against a nice number of roaches and Lings. The problem is, this kind of cannon positioning is really good, and he's actually got 4 of them, and my roaches just aren't going to get there in time. But, oh, his Zealots got out in the field. He didn't want to get his Zealots stuck here, so that was actually a smart move. It's either lose your Zealots for nothing or send him out and try to get some damage done. He is going to get some damage done. Now bringing my Lings to the cannons. I'm going to try to back up my Lings, losing all but 3. And now the remainder of these Zealots are going to go down. I hope I run into them. No, I am going to back off. 2 Zealots, extremely weak, can be finished off, but the problem with this kind of cannon placement is you can only attack the cannons if your roaches are right here, and you can't get a lot of surface area. You can get maybe 6 roaches attacking a cannon. I don't think that it's worth it right now, so I'm just going to pick off those 2 Zealots, back up, and probably just drone hard. Yeah, I've got 4 drones on the way, and a good idea to do right now would have been to back up with my roaches and Lings and try to take out this gold, expand there, and, you know, just maybe go Hydra Roach, because Hydras can outrange these gateways, or just transition into Mutas or Roach Infestors, something normal against Toss, whatever you normally go against Toss. And you see he's pretty scared about this. He's got 6 cannons total on the way, and he's actually going a Starport, so he's going to have that on his side. If I don't get any anti-air, I don't have an Evolution Chamber right now. I am getting a Lair, but no Evolution Chamber, no Hydro Stand, there's no Lair yet. This Void Ray could do a little bit of damage. Ling's still kind of chilling outside the base. I've got my +1, or my speed coming up. The count is now 97 to 50, but you have to remember, this discrepancy is 1, because I have so many damn roaches, and roaches are one of the cheapest units in the game, and 2, he doesn't have that many less harvesters than me, so this number is slightly misleading. He's invested a lot in cannons, which could have contributed to his food count. So the lair is up. I'm now running on 4 gas, 48 harvesters, and still, I'm always an advocate for using your idle units to bust down rocks and stuff, and they're just kind of chilling here, so that's kind of a mistake. And I am going Ventral Sacs and Pneumatized Carapace. I feel like at this point he's spent so much money on these cannons that if I do this, if I go drops, that I can just drop in the back and just finish him off. I did not know, however, although I did suspect that he might be getting Void Rays. The Sling on the tower is going to see the Void Rays, and you're going to see me panic, man. You're going to see me like throw down an Evolution Chamber, Hydra Den, stuff like that. There's a Hydra Den, And another queen on the way. Unfortunately, one of my queens is being blocked by the drop upgrades. Evolution Chamber coming. And these 2 Void Rays are going to do an enormous amount of damage, man. He's even got a Phoenix, and the great thing about Phoenix support is you're able to lift up a queen and cut the queen DPS in half. I'm trying to run, but it's not going to do any good. Transfusion going down, and I'm trying to snipe the Phoenix, prevent any more lift-ups, but he is going to kite away with it. And at this point, I'm not really managing my queen very well. I'm just going to let her die. There wasn't a whole lot I could do about that. Evolution Chamber is up. These roaches just kind of chilling out here, feeling really stupid, not doing anything at all. And let's see what he chooses to focus. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for the Hydra. No, he is going to go for the Spore Crawler. And more roaches coming out. 6 roaches, 3 spores being produced, but the 2 spores in my main now being eliminated. The Overlords, however, do have their speed and their drops, but I'm losing so many drones. Going to transfer the drones. Hydra's speed about halfway done. I'm still not making any Hydras. I want to secure this base because I know this drop has potential to do a lot of damage, especially because he invested so much in Void Rays, 1, and 2, he invested so much in cannons. I feel like even with the Void Rays constantly attacking my ground forces, that I'll be able to do a lot of damage. And you can see here this hatchery, this lair is about to go down. I don't think that queen is going to finish. Here comes the drop. A lot of roaches. They don't have speed quite yet, or any upgrades really. He does have +1 on his units, but that's a lot of stalkers, man. He's got blink. He's microing pretty well. Speed almost up for the roaches, and I've got about 20 more on the way. He has finished his warp gates, however. Not making a Void Ray. Would have been a smart choice to make another Void Ray. Trying to pull back, consolidate my forces here. Another drop coming in, and now his roaches are getting outnumbered. Meanwhile, he's destroying every single tech structure in my expansion. Speed's now up, and I am destroying so much of his infrastructure. The great thing about dropping on a main is that you're going to kill a lot of infrastructure, and you're really going to slow down his production. That's exactly what I'm doing. He can no longer produce out of the Stargate. The pylon going down. These Void Rays now running back. This base is secure for the time being. And he's trying to do some blink trickery, but there's just too many roaches. 31 roaches against 14 stalkers. Now moving in, taking out a couple stalkers. He's neglecting them a little bit. These overlords just kind of chilling out here. And I did force his probes to get out of there. These Void Rays are going to shoo my overlords back. And this was actually an intelligent move by him. I didn't realize this at the time. But by shooing away my overlords like this, he's now free to just slice and dice up my roaches however much he wants. And it was actually a clever play by him. He knows he's going to lose everything in his main, but why bother losing your stalkers as well when you can just send in your Void Rays? And, you know, with that said, it's kind of unusual that he is sending in the stalkers. I feel like he could get everything done just with his Void Rays. Smart move there, pulling back. You don't want to engage when you have the support of the cannon, support of the Void Rays. But he's actually keeping his stalkers in there. There we go, another nice blink. So he is confident in his blink factor, man. So at this point I realized my roaches aren't going to do anything. Let me go out and try to snipe what I can. I snipe 1 or 2 stalkers and take out a couple cannons. Then I just run back up. And at this point I am trying to send in my overlords to save them, but it's just not going to happen. Looks like the rest of them are going to get finished off. And there they go. Overlord's just not able to get there in time. Hydras, they wanted to try to support, but it just didn't happen. So it's now 1 base to 1 base. He did finish off this hatchery. I'm trying to recover it. 39 to 38 harvesters, but I do have Hydras. Hydras are pretty good against Phoenix, Void Ray, Stalker, as long as you have at least as many Stalkers as he does. And we've kind of had a reset in the game now. He's still got a fully mining expansion. He's taking his main as well. 4 more warp gates going on the way. He's got a lot of money. And again, destroying all of his production is the reason he has so much money. Now trying to push out nice blink, saving that stalker. I've never seen someone blink and interrupt a Hydralisk spine, but he's got to be a bit worried about these Hydras. He doesn't really have a response to those. Gateway units aren't the most cost-effective unit against Hydras. So he needs to try to switch it up, and we are seeing just that with a robotics facility going down in the back. And now we're seeing some of my trickery this time. I see him with this Overlord, and I'm like, okay, I know his path, where his air units are. I'm going to try to cut off his air units on the way back. And while I am busting down the rocks, I'm keeping an eye on this area to see if he does send any units, so I won't be stuck on an attack command on these rocks. Here come the Phoenixes. Now switching targets. 1, 2, 3, 4 Phoenix going down. Huge pickup right there. Phoenix incredibly strong against Hydras, and the cool thing is he can't really rebuild them. He doesn't have a Stargate. He's got a lot of cannons. He's got 12 Stalkers and a few sentries. But with me picking up my 3rd base, and Hydras against gateway units, it's not looking too bad to me. It's actually a fairly even game, although he is pumping out the robotics bay and a second robo facility. Probably going to see some Colossi since he knows I'm so Hydra heavy. That's really what the first thing that comes into a Protoss's mind when they see Hydras is I need Colossi. And look at this, I did not learn from my mistake. The Void Ray is now drilling away at my hatchery, at my drones, and they're actually going to take down that hatchery once again. So what was becoming a pretty even game again, he might start pulling away from two Hydras actually popping out, though, saving the hatchery. I thought my hatchery died. I guess not. So that's good. I could have sworn my hatchery died, but apparently not. And meanwhile, I'm just hammering away at his gateways, his robotics bay now finishing, and we're likely going to see a couple Colossi. Looks like he's been saving the money for it. Where are they? Where are you, Colossi? There they are, 2 Colossi and a Thermal Lances, so nice spending right there. Had exactly 600 gas, and these Overlords coming for sight against these Stalkers. Unfortunately, I don't have any upgrades, but he's only got +1 upgrades. His Overlord's getting shot down just a little bit, but Overlords are hardy, man. They got lots of life, I'm not really worried about it. And that gateway finally getting finished. 2 Colossi on the way. No Thermal Lances, though. That's going to be huge. If I'm able to get into his base somehow before he's able to acquire Thermal Lances, it could be huge. And 2 Hydras just sitting in my main. At this point, 2 Hydras could actually be a big deal. Trying to find a way in. I'm thinking maybe I can bust these pylons. Maybe I can just take him front on, but here comes the Colossus. Chrono boosting him out. He probably wants to chrono boost that upgrade. And look at this. What did I notice right here? I'm looking for a hole. I don't see any units near the edge. I'm going to load every single thing up and just drop into his main. There he is. Is he going to catch it in time? Trying to drop everything. Dropping on the run. These Colossi do not have extended range. Everything being dropped. 3 more units in this Overlord being dropped on top of the Colossi. The cool thing about dropping on the run is they spread. The units are spread out so nicely. And Hydras with such high DPS are going to take out every single gateway unit on the ground. You can't really blink away against Hydras and Roaches in that kind of fashion. And now he's trying to kite away with this one Colossus, but it was taken out. I have transferred to the gold in the meantime. Not a lot of Harvesters, though. Only 26 Harvesters, so this attack really has to work. And it looks like it will be able to seal the deal, although he's... ooh, I barely stopped that last Colossus. He has finished Thermal Lances. It's probably too little, too late. No, he didn't finish Thermal Lances. I killed his Robotics Bay right before he finished it. But he's got tons of robes trying to soak up the damage. I've got 4 roaches that I want to decoy, or 5 roaches that I want to decoy this Colossus with, and Hydras are able to take down these robes with ease, and a GG from, LiquidZephyr. I really need to breathe. But, you know, that drop play, it really helps, you know, get an evolution chamber. Even if you don't think you need one, get an evolution chamber, and just so you're ready for spores. I saw these Void Rays so soon, I could have just spored up and been fine. The game didn't have to be this close, but it was. I feel like Drops was a good choice in this situation, and I was able to find a hole in his defense and take him out with some on-the-run dropping. So I hope you guys learned something from this game. Let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching. GG!